right? You have a lot of turnover, possibly. Kelsey may be finished.
Where I'm looking up average life expectancy.
Guys,
I'm dreaming at this point. Like, I can't. I'm done with the season.
What's the next evolution of Pat Mahomes? And it's weird to be talking about a guy like, what's the next evolution of Pat Mahomes, and he's not 30. You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're hanging out with us, and we appreciate that. So wherever you're listening and however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Alex Goodwin is my name. You can follow me on the artist formerly known as Twitter, at Alex Goodwin TSM, and that's on Twitter, at Alex Goodwin TSM. That is T as in tacos, S as in sangria, M as in margaritas. Kennedy Miller, my dog.
What's going on, man? Long time no see.
Man, I'm saying, man, we've been texting, tweeting, talking about a whole lot of stuff, but it's been a while since we hopped on the pod. It ain't been since the finals, right?
No, I don't think it's been since final. Definitely not since all these moves have been made.
Man, absolutely not, man. It's good to lock back in. You know, I tell people all the time, we take a break during the summer because, you know, we need it. But we about to get things back rolling. But Ken, where can the folks find you on Twitter, dog?
So, new Twitter account name, I guess I would say. You can find me on Twitter at _Coach Ken __. Again, that's _Coach Ken __. Fact check me on that, Alex. Make sure I said the right thing. I think that's the right one.
Because I was like, Ken, you ain't never changed it. It's been _ Kennedy Miller _ Wait, is this your same account?
It's the same account. I just changed the name.
Okay. Let me _Coach Ken __. Yep, you're right. You got it.
Right.
We'll put it in the show notes. But Kennedy Miller, I said M as in margaritas. I should have said M as in Meek Mill, because I'm pretty sure, Kennedy Miller, that's going to be your new favorite rapper, because your favorite basketball player, LeBron James, is now a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. You didn't see that one coming, did you, Kennedy Miller? You didn't see it coming, did you?
Truthfully, I did not think he would choose Philadelphia. I did not. When we go through the teams that he was interested in and the teams that he was being linked to, I did not think he would choose Golden State. I knew the thought of playing with Steph was there, especially after the Olympics. But after they did not get Draymond Green, I didn't think that was a possible scenario. Or not Draymond Green, I'm sorry, Anthony Davis. I did not think it was a possible scenario for him to go to Golden State, because that roster outside of Steph is just old, decrepit,
Bad,
right? Like, we don't know what Jimmy Butler's going to be. Can't assume that he's going to be 100%. Moses Moody, leg fell off the bone last year. It seems what it looked like. Then they re-signed Al Horford, right? Tito's son. And then, like, we're supposed to be cool with Pods in the starting lineup for Bron in his last 2 years. So he's not going to go to Golden State. He's not going to go to YN Central in Minnesota. Plus, with how cold it gets in the wintertime, like, he's not going there with them. Like, no way. Even though I do think that would have been a pretty good basketball fit, right? Cleveland, right, I think in the optics had the best fit, because you're going home, third time's a charm. They just went to the conference finals. I can help this team get over the hump. And then I've got these guards that can kind of take the ball out of my hands. I don't really have to do as much. And then I've got the bigs on the back line. But I'm probably going to have to guard the best perimeter guy night in and night out for that Cleveland team, because Donovan Mitchell is too small. James Harden, we know. And, then you got these two bigs that can't really play on the perimeter, even though Evan Mobley can do it a little bit. So I think James Harden was a pushing factor for him not to go to Cleveland. Like, I think because it keeps like being linked out. I think Rich Paul said it. We've seen in articles. He was very confused when they traded Darius Garland, because he liked Darius Garland. And I think if they traded James Harden instead, he would have been to Cleveland a long time ago. And then what was the other one? We got Cleveland. We got Miami.
Miami. I mean, the Spurs were, we were allegedly an option. I'll take LeBron over Tobias Harris, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right. I think Miami would have been good as well. Definitely, you have the insurance behind you on the back line with Giannis and Bam. I really don't know why he didn't choose Miami. I don't know if it was because that leaked that leaked press conference.
Yeah.
That they had when the guy had leaked that press conference. I don't know why he didn't choose him because I thought it would have been a weird fit, but I thought it would have helped him out for somebody in his latter stages of his career. But choosing Philadelphia, basketball wise, none of these were perfect fits, but this potentially is one of the best starting lineups, if not the best starting lineup in the NBA, right? You got Maxey, All Star, Jalen Brown, top 6 in MVP voting. You
Finals
got
MVP.
Embiid, Finals MVP. Embiid is a former league MVP. And then you got BJ Edgecombe, who was a rising rookie this year. They got potential to be a really good team, right? It all will stem on the durability of Joel Embiid. How healthy can he be? Because the only thing that I question with LeBron choosing the 76ers is you are about to be 41, 42 because you signed a 2-year deal. You're leveraging that on the injury history of Joel Embiid. And like obviously when he's healthy, like him and Jokic, like they are Joel Embiid is a top 5 player in the league when he's healthy. But it's not when or it's not if anymore. It's when he's going to get hurt. Like I'm not like just because LeBron came doesn't mean he's going to walk out and play 75 games. Like it'll be a blessing if he can play 60.
I was going to say 50. I think I texted you the other day. I said, just pencil in that Embiid is going to play possibly at max 55 games.
And that would be a great year if he could play like if he
Yes.
plays the end of the 55 going into the playoffs.
Yeah. Because
Right?
it's when
And
he
so
plays the 55.
it's when he plays the 55, right? And so like it's kind of like the Anthony Davis thing. Like they're injury plagued and Embiid a little bit more so because we know that he has bad knees. But like some of the stuff, like when you go back and look of like the injuries, like he got elbowed in the face
Yeah.
1 year in the playoffs. So the key to them being healthy or the key to them being a successful team is on the health of Joel Embiid. A lot of things can happen, but the ultimate ceiling that they can get to is if Embiid is healthy or not. Them picking up KCP also was a solid addition for their bench. You got a solid 8 guys, right? You have that starting 5, and then you sign Dean Wade, KCP, Anthony Simons, and that will probably be your playoff rotation. Best case scenario, they can maybe get another backup big to be insurance behind Embiid, but that adds to an Eastern Conference that has
Loaded.
been like that's loaded. I think the East is better than the West this year from top to bottom. I think this is the best. This is the first time in probably, I mean, because it's so clear cut, right? Like now you can make the argument. Like the argument is like San Antonio and OKC are top 5 teams in the league. That's no doubt about it, and maybe top 3, 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. But then when you look past it, who is the third best team in the West? Like I think Denver's consistently getting worse. Minnesota, the Lakers. Like who do you put there next?
Yeah, I think that's the part. That's the thing, right? Like, the West, like the highs of the West are so
Yeah.
high, right? We have 2 teams we think can go in the next year and win 60 odd games. But I think, like you said, the East is going to be deeper, right? I'll say this with LeBron. There were a few things that I have been thinking about for a minute. And the big one was when I read his statement, it seemed very clear to me that he seriously considered retiring, right? And you've heard me say this, Ken, for the last year or so, that I thought this past year with the Lakers, his last year with the Lakers should have been it. Because what else do you have to accomplish here, right? But a part of me does think that, LeBron, like a lot of people, has a lot of his identity wrapped up in his job, right? Like we know people who their identity is, I'm an investment banker, I'm a teacher, I'm an X, Y, or Z, right? And this is what you do. In the moment, like people have to retire, because of age or whatever, they just tired of it, then they don't know what to do with themselves, right? I mean, we just saw Tom Brady go through this, right? So a part of me was like, is that kind of what we're seeing here? Because a part of me is like, yo, what else if you're LeBron James, what else do you have to prove? There's nothing else you have to prove, right? Like winning ring, like if you win another ring, which I don't know, if it happens, if it doesn't, the people that think he's the greatest of all time, they already think that a 5th ring ain't gonna change it. The people who don't, they already don't, right? Like you're not changing hearts and minds at this point, right? But I thought if he was going to play this year, I thought the place for him to go play was Cleveland. And simply because he's gone to all of these other places. He's been to Los Angeles. He's been in Miami, right? And he's been a visitor. You know what I'm saying? He's been a visitor in someone else's city. You go to Miami, LeBron might be the best player on the team, but That's Dwayne Wade's city, right? You might have gone and been the best player on that Lakers team that won a title, but that's Kobe's city. And if let's be honest, that's Kobe's team, right? Just the way people look at that, like that is a fan base full of Kobe stands, and you wouldn't. They were always going to look at you.
They would never, yeah.
Like, because, and for me, when I think about it, when we think about who LeBron James is, we think about like players, like how do we remember them? Like, what team do we associate them with, right? We don't remember the fact that Emmitt Smith played a year with the Cardinals. We don't remember the fact that Andre Johnson played a year or, whatever with the Titans or the Colts. Andre Johnson's a Texan. You know what I'm saying? We don't really want to talk about the fact that Patrick Ewing played in Orlando or with the Supersonics. He's a Knick. For me, with LeBron, I say that to say, we think about LeBron, we think of LeBron, or at least I do. I'm not sure about anyone else. I think of LeBron James as a Cavalier, right? Sure, he played Miami. Sure, he played with the Lakers, but he's a Cav, right? And so for me, they'll never love you like they do at home. Go on back home, close it out there, right? They got a really good team. Now, again, trusting a team with James Harden to actually do something. Yeah, we've seen 15 years of evidence to prove you probably shouldn't do that, right? But I thought for LeBron, maybe you can override that. All right. So I thought he should have went back home and finished it out there in Cleveland. But I think with him going to Philadelphia, it creates a fascinating situation where you got in that starting five that's very good. Almost all of those guys need the ball to be effective. None of those dudes, with the exception of LeBron James, can, play off ball, right? LeBron can facilitate. LeBron can play off ball to a point, right? But Maxey needs the ball to get his buckets. Embiid needs the ball to get his buckets, right? Jalen Brown needs the ball to get his buckets because his ass can't dribble, right? Like everybody else, like there's no one that can create shots for other people, right? These dudes get buckets for themselves, right? So number one, how is that going to work when there's only one ball? Like this isn't a situation, I think, where when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors and KD can play off ball, he can play on, however you want to do it, he can do it, right? This isn't a situation like that, right? So who's going to have to take a step back, right? Who's going to have to sacrifice, right? And also, how are you going to be able to get this team chemistry? Because, we know Maxey's going to miss some time, right? We know LeBron, he's old. He's going to miss some games. Embiid, pencil him, he's going to miss at least 30 games. At least, right? So will they have the team chemistry and like the that camaraderie and like understanding how the five of these guys play together when it comes time for playoff time, when they run up against New York, or they have to go against Miami with Giannis and Bam and Andrew Wiggins, right? Are they going to be prepared for that, right? Are they going to know more or less what's the best style of play? Are they going to, because it takes a while for you to work out those kinks, especially because, and I don't think this is a super team. I think that's people saying that they're being ridiculous. Like, how you going to be a super team when the best player on said super team ain't never made it out of the second round, right? That's just me. But are they going to, have that team chemistry of being on the floor together by the time the playoffs roll around? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So, I mean, a couple of things to your point. Number one, I do think he really contemplated retirement. I agree with you on that. I think what changed it is I just went out here and won a playoff series at 41 years old. Like, albeit whatever it was, I just won a Western Conference playoff series with Austin Reeves and Luka being out. Like, I've taken a step back, but I can also gear this up to a certain level, not the level that I used to be. I can gear it up to a certain level where I can still compete and I can still, if we need to, will some games in our favor. I don't think he was going to take a veteran minimum for Dan Gilbert. I just don't.
That is something under discussed in this whole thing. I'm like, have him and Dan Gilbert repaired it to the point he's like, yo, I'll take $4 million.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't think he would have taken $4 million for Dan Gilbert. And on the flip side, I don't think he was going to do it for the Lakers too, because it's a lot of Lakers fans that feel like, well, you do this now, but we've been asking you to do this for years. And so I actually, from a basketball standpoint, I really thought he should have, like, if he was going to take a bet minimum, I thought the Lakers were a better fit roster around him and what would help him in this time of his career based on the moves that they made. Him going to Philadelphia, I think Maxey can play off the ball. Like, he's got numbers to prove that when he does play off the ball, he's very efficient. He just hasn't been slotted into that because of the team structure so far.
That's fair.
I agree with you. Before LeBron went there, I think that was a real concern. Like Maxey, Jalen Brown, Embiid, who are the playmakers here? Like, because these are three ball stoppers. But it came out today. LeBron is going to play more of a playmaker PG role with this team. Well, in 2020, he did that with the Lakers. He led the league in assists. I'm not saying he's going to lead the league in assists, but you already kind of alluded to it. Embiid is going to miss games, right? So, like, if I'm coaching, if I'm management, hey, Embiid ain't going to be here throughout the regular season. Jalen Brown, it's your show, right? Like, LeBron is going to be facilitating. LeBron is going to be playmaking. He's going to get you in your spots. JB, Maxey, especially BJ Edgecombe. This ain't going to be your role 2 years later, right? This is going to be the role that you going to be in the corner right now. But in these regular season games, when these guys are missing time, this where y'all go for 25. This where y'all go for 30. And I do think it's going to be nice where Philadelphia looks like all them dudes are playing, all them dudes look good. How you gonna beat this team? And then there's gonna be other nights where they're gonna get their doors blown off, and we like everybody's gonna think the sky is falling. One thing for sure though, and I think I already sent you this, like Jalen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, even LeBron at 41 years old were all top 5 in the league in transition.
Yes.
And so Nick Nurse, who I think he's a pretty good coach. I'm not going to put him in the elite of the elite, but he's an NBA champion as a head coach, right? He coached that team in Toronto
Mm-hmm.
with
Kawhi Leonard,
talent, right? Kawhi, Marcus Gasol, Siakam,
Van Vliet.
Kyle Lowry, Van Fleet. Like they had some dudes on there, not to this level, right? If I'm him, I'm preaching to them. Once we get the stops, everybody's gonna eat. Like Jalen Brown is a really good on ball defender, not great off the ball. Like BJ can be a good on ball defender. It's gonna be tough for Embiid and LeBron. Like it is because
Turnstiles.
yeah, like LeBron, if he like LeBron shows glimpses, right? But Embiid with the bad knees where he's at right now playing the drop coverage, it's gonna be tough. But if they can get out and run, if Embiid can get it, outlet it to Braun, Jalen Brown, Tyrese Mack, they're gonna get efficient shots. And I think that's what they're gonna need to preach. It's gotta be stops on the defensive end first.
You know, you mentioned the whole thing about Jalen Brown. This is your show. You know, he been itching. He's the guy that to me is the most interesting in this entire dynamic. And we'll talk more about how the whole I think Boston was ridiculous. They basically gave him away. We'll talk about that more in a second. Jalen Brown wanted out of Boston because he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the lead singer. And I know for years everybody said in Boston it's 1A and 1B. Brown and Tatum is interchangeable. No, it wasn't. And here's why I say no, it wasn't. Every time a trade rumor came up, who was it that was involved in the rumor? Was it, I'm asking you, Ken, was it Brown or was it Tatum?
It was Brown.
It was Jalen Brown. That's very obvious that Tatum's he's number one, you're number two. That's how they feel. Like if we have to make a move, we're getting rid of you, right? Jalen Brown wanted to go to a place where he was the guy. He was the lead singer. He ends up getting traded to Philadelphia, which at best, before LeBron shows up, he's the third guy at best. And then you drop LeBron in there, you can make the argument, depending on how you feel about LeBron James at this point in his career, that LeBron is a 3 and Jalen Brown is the 4. How is he going to deal with that, right? That he's depending on, there are going to be a lot of injuries and guys being in and out, but he's going to probably have less looks or less shots that he likes than he got even in Boston. Right. So how does he deal with all of this? Right. How does he deal with, like you said, there are going to be some nights where it's his show. And, like I said, I applaud the ambition. I applaud him being like, yeah, I can be the best player on the championship team. Right. He's a finals MVP. And I can even see a situation where Jalen Brown shows up to Philadelphia and is like, I ain't got to take a back seat to nobody. Right. Because if we really look at it in terms of who, other than LeBron James on this current Philadelphia 76ers team, who has had more career success than Jalen Brown?
Nobody.
No one, right? He could walk in and be like, I'm a finals MVP. I've been to the NBA finals twice. I've won. I've been to the conference finals, Lord knows how many times, right? I don't take a back seat to Tyrese Maxey or Joel Embiid, right? Now, mind you, it is kind of crazy if he came in there thinking that given that the Celtics gave up the booty in a 3-1 lead.
Yep.
Right.
With him having to guard Embiid down the stretch.
Yes. Right. But I could see him this whole thing, this would go really well or really terribly. And I think Jalen Brown is the significant variable in all of that, right? Because how is he going to react if he doesn't get the number of shots he feels like he needs or wants, right? LeBron, we know at this point, like LeBron is the ultimate lead singer, right? But he can't hit the notes the way he used to, right? He can hit them sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But he can't rev it up every night. But when he revs it up in full, he does it, right?
Yep.
So we know LeBron's going to take a step back, right?
I think Maxey will be fine as well. He's a clutch guy.
That's fair, right? But Jalen Brown, he's the guy I feel like this whole thing hinges on, because this could go really poorly very quickly. You know what I mean?
Now I hear what you're saying. I just think the variable in it relies on Embiid's health. Like all those dudes had I want to say Jalen Brown and Maxey maybe had a over 30% usage rate last year, or was it 28?
Brown, Maxey, and Embiid and LeBron were all around somewhere between like 28 and the mid 30s.
Right.
28 low mid 30s, somewhere like that.
It's going to be a sacrifice. We agree LeBron's going to do it. I think Max is going to play off ball. And I think it's going to be the Jalen Brown show during the regular season when Embiid is missing games. When the big fella plays, it's got to go through him. And everybody's got to eat out of transition. Because like when he plays and when he's healthy, he's an MVP. Like he's an MVP. Like I get you were a finals MVP and I get you were, fifth and or sixth in voting. That dude is a top 5 player in basketball when he plays. And that's got to be the message to the team. Y'all eat in transition because Embiid's not going to get down the floor. Like
It's going to take him 15 seconds.
Right. If he gets a rebound and kicks it out to Tyrese and they start running Tyrese, Jalen Brown, LeBron, Edgecombe, that's when y'all eat. And I think that they will. And then, they'll be able to stagger those rotations so much, especially like they got a guy like Dean Wade expected to start. And now he's coming off the bench, right? KCP, I don't really care what he looked like in Memphis last year because I really think about him as like how Marcus Smart was with the Lakers when he was in Memphis the year before, and he didn't look good. He looked washed because you're playing around better talent. You're expected to do less, right? Like if anything, he's just going to create the gravity of being another shooter out there. If he can slide his feet even just a little bit still, he'll be okay. But he's always had good defensive instincts, and he's 6'5", 6'6" as a guard with long arms, right? So that gives a versatility. Him and Jalen Brown can be on the floor together. He can take some of those JV minutes and just spot up next to Braun or next to Tyrese Maxey. And then you got like a guy like Anthony Simons who's going to come in and he's going to be a spark plug, right, off the bench. So they have a lot of lineups, a lot of versatility that they can use out of it to kind of get some of those guys some different looks.
And I know earlier we said we were going to talk about Jalen Brown and the whole thing and his divorce with the Celtics. Kennedy Miller, I am still shocked. They more or less gave him away for what was left of Paul George. I am shocked by that, right? Like the idea that they didn't want Giannis, but they wanted 36-year-old Paul George, right? Like that's the part that mystifies me. And I think the thing about there's been a lot made about Jalen Brown's exit from Boston and a whole lot of people saying things like, well, Jalen Brown thinks he's smarter than everybody. And I understand people, I full on understand why people get very uncomfortable when there are white people talking about a black man thinks he's the smartest person in the room and the sort of uppity Negro thing that's being invoked there. I understand. I full on understand that. Right. I know for me, this thing I've noticed with Jalen Brown, and, I think I've heard some black athletes say it too, like that dude thinks he's smarter than everybody. And it's a bit of a turnoff, right? With him. But the whole thought in my brain is people should be able to view your intellect as a resource. Not because Ken, we said this about Tom Herman years ago. Nobody likes an asshole. Nobody likes a know-it-all, right? And it seemed like at the end in Boston, people were tired of dealing with him. Because did you see Jason Tatum's, what Jason Tatum said at that camp the other day?
Oh, yeah. Clearly a shot.
Yeah.
Clearly shade.
Clearly sick of him, right? It seemed like for all these years, we always thought everything was good between him. And dog, they probably secretly, Tatum probably been sick of him for years, right? In his whole get down, right? But for Boston, I don't, you just got worse here. Right?
Nah, I wouldn't say all that now.
Well, Ken, hold on now, Ken. Got me sound like Shannon Sharp. Skip. Here's what I'm saying that. Playoff P, Kennedy Miller, 36-year-old playoff P, who was on the roids. Playoff P, who we've seen throw the ball off the side of the backboard, right? they got Mitchell Robinson, right? But I'm saying like Jalen Brown, Paul George, who would I rather have next year just on the basketball court? The answer is Jalen Brown. I'd rather have Jalen Brown, right? And if you're going to trade Jalen Brown, you need to get something that's like approximate or better. Like Giannis was on the table, right? And what they got back for Jalen Brown was Paul George going into year, 16? And the rights to pick some dudes that are in the 7th and 8th grade right now?
Talent for talent, obviously Jalen Brown is a better basketball player. But if we're talking about fit, Paul George is a better fit for Boston today than Jalen Brown because of some of those issues, right? Like the way that Boston is played and the way that they had that success like 2 years ago. They have a guy and they penetrate, they kick, they spray out the shooters, they do all this. Well, Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, to a certain degree, both kind of stop and they hold the ball, and it kind of messes up the flow of their offense. Paul George, at this point, there is no more conversation about 1A, 1B. It is a clear pecking order now in Boston. This is Jason Tatum's team. Paul George at this stage in his career is now a 2, and the value that he brings as a 2 for that team is almost like and I'm not saying he's at that level anymore, but like when Klay Thompson was in Golden State, he's gonna knock down shots. He's gonna guard because he's still a very elite perimeter defender. So he's gonna knock down open shots. He's gonna guard the best wing on the other team. What did he just do in the playoffs? Like he was suspended last year. He had some injuries, but how did he end the year? He ended the year by beating Boston. Like you can make the argument he had a better series than Jalen Brown.
I'd say he did.
And so, like, yeah, obviously Jalen Brown is younger. He's more talented. Paul George is older. He's on a bad contract. And yeah, they probably should have went more so all in on getting Giannis. But the way that they play, when they shoot 53s a game and 45 threes a game, he's going to fit in perfectly with that team. Now to get Mitchell Robinson, who's got one of the best offensive rebound rates in, the last 5 years, 10 years. They're going to try and spray it out to those shooters. Now, I'm not going to say they got better, but I'm not going to say that they got worse. Like, I'm not looking at Boston like as a team now on the outside looking in. I think they'll still be a top 5 seed.
So you're saying you think obviously talent for talent, Boston got worse.
Jalen Brown is better.
Right, but you're saying like holistically as an entire roster.
Now there is no
the chemistry issue.
Who's the man in Boston? JT is a man. Paul George is a 2.
And I guess the wild thing is, I think I said it earlier, it was pretty obvious who the guy was, right? This entire time. Because if we really think about it, when it came up about Kawhi Leonard or Anthony Davis or any of those dudes or Giannis or anybody, Jalen Brown was the guy who was getting dangled, right? Kevin Durant, when Durant asked for a trade out of, was it Brooklyn before that summer? He was like, yo, get me out of Brooklyn. Then he was like, JK, right? Jalen Brown was the name that was floated, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Boston is just, they got a real interesting setup where I'm just like, they won that title because they had a roster deep enough to where like Kristaps Porzingis was their 4th best player and Derek White was like their 5th best player, right? But now they have a setup where Jrue Holiday's gone, Porzingis is gone, Jalen Brown is gone, right? Where Derek White and Peyton Pritchard are your 3rd and 4th best players. I don't think that's a feasible situation. You know what I'm saying? Because Derek White was booty last year. Kennedy Miller, Derek White was straight up Bubba Sparks. It was rocking everywhere, Kennedy Miller. The booty was rocking everywhere, dog. You saw it. We saw it. We all saw it. Straight Bubba Sparks. All right?
He was bad last year.
He was bad, right? And here's the worst thing. He was bad before Tatum got back, and we all thought, all right, once Tatum gets back, he'll be better. When Tatum got back, Derek White was statistically worse, right? I don't know if that's just a one-off aberration or if this is like the start of a decline for Derek White, right? I'm not quite sure what that is, especially with the way like Missoula gives me a lot of early, like 7 seconds or less Mike D'Antoni in terms of he's so rigid and he got plan A. If plan A don't work, do we have plan B? Yeah. But what's plan B? More plan A. Right, like they just their setup is really interesting to me. And Ken, you got any more on Boston before we move on?
No, I think I said all my piece. Mitchell Robinson was a good pickup for them, I will say though. But yeah, I think they'll still be a top 5 seed in the East.
All right, now let's go. Giannis going to Miami. Giannis, Bam, Andrew Wiggins. Ken, what you think?
Man, that is going to be a scary front court. it's going to be very difficult to score down in South Beach in the paint. Giannis and Bam, it's very clunky right now. I think percentage wise, maybe Bobby Portis is their best 3-point shooter right now, who shot 41% last year. But you got Giannis Bam, you got Davion Mitchell, you got Andrew Wiggins. You got a lot of toughness. You got a lot of defensive IQ on that side. They need more playmakers, though. They need more playmakers, and they're more shooting as well. And they're looking at Klay Thompson, like that's the rumors that are coming in. I think Klay, if he was smart, once he got that buyout, Miami is the place that he needs to go. I just don't know, they're going to be tough for any team to beat or any team to play in a playoff series. I just don't know with the lack of playmaking, because Pat Riley has even said it, like, we don't need necessarily better shooters. We need playmakers. Like, that's what our biggest weakness is right now. I don't know with the lack of playmaking if they can truly go over the top against some of those other teams in the East. But man, oh, they got some toughness defensively. Like it, I like because it's not gonna look like every other team. You know what I mean? Like how people, like when we had Tobias on a couple of months ago, I think before the playoffs, he talked about how he felt like every team played the same. Well, there's no way you're telling me that Boston is going to shoot 53s and Miami's going to do the same thing. Like now it's going to be a difference night in and night out. You got to change your game plan night in and night out to play this team. So I'm excited to see it. I just think maybe their ceiling is probably second round conference final, maybe.
Yeah, I think their ceiling is conference final just because you have Giannis, and I think you're going to have a motivated Giannis, right? And I
Oh,
just
for
think,
sure.
I just really say this very quickly. You talk about something like if they didn't get a trade done this summer, I was like, don't talk to me about Giannis and the Bucks ever again, because it very was starting to feel like
Correct.
a few summers ago, Kennedy Miller,
Yep.
you were sick of Damian Lillard, right?
Yep.
But I was sick of both sides, right? This is like a relationship, Ken. I don't know if you've ever had this happen to where like your homeboy or your homegirl is dating somebody and they always complaining to you about whoever it is they dating. They complain, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this.
Yep. I know exactly what you're
I'm
talking
gonna
about.
leave, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna leave. And then nothing happens. In fact, maybe they split for like 3 weeks and then you pop up on Instagram a month later. Well, you know what they with some goofy ass caption. You know what they say, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, that's how you know. You're like, you know what? Don't talk to me about that man ever again. Right? I was about to get that way with Giannis and the Bucks, where it felt like these were two people staying together for the sake of the kids. And the problem is the kids know you staying together for the sake of them. The kids ain't happy, y'all ain't happy, and everybody's miserable. That's what it felt like, right? Like
Hmm.
the longest, most drawn out trade saga I can remember, right? But I think them losing Norman Powell's going to Chicago, right?
Norman Powell is in Chicago.
Right, like that's coming off of an all-star season. That's the one shooting. I wouldn't inherently say playmaking with Norman Powell,
Right.
but Norman Powell gonna put the ball in the hole, and he at least gonna give you a little bit more floor spacing, right? Because he can knock down some threes, right? But where is that floor spacing gonna come from, right? It ain't coming from Giannis. It's not really coming from Bam in that way, right? Andrew Wiggins, man,
I think they still got Jovic.
yeah.
So like he'll be one. Somebody else that I'm missing on that team. Because I did think about Norman Powell, but he's in Chicago. That's going to be one of my league pass teams to watch. Chicago's going to be fun to watch. They're not going to be good, but they're going to be fun to watch.
You said it's not gonna be
Um,
good. It'll be
no,
fun
they're not
though.
gonna, you always got to find, like, every year as an NBA fan, you always got to have like a league pass team, a team that has, like, they're not going to make the playoffs, but you're like, in a couple of years, y'all might have something. And I can say that I started watching it earlier than most. And I think Chicago's going to be one of those teams. But yeah, Miami needs playmaking and they need shooting to really put themselves as a true contender in the East. They have one of the bigger holes on their team out of all of those teams in the Eastern Conference, those contenders that we talk about.
All right, moving on to the Portland Trailblazers. Ja
Mm,
Morant is now in Portland, right? I'm not gonna lie to you, Ken. I don't really know what Portland is doing, and
I
I
don't get it.
and, and I say that because I'm like, okay, they have Ja, Drew Holiday, Damian Lillard, who's like 35, coming off of an Achilles tear, Scoot Henderson,
Hmm.
and that's just the backcourt. You add on to that, Denny Advia, who just was a first-time All-Star.
Shade
And
Sharp.
yeah, Shaden Sharp, like I don't quite know, like, are you my thought would be you have a log jam at your guard spots, which means some people are going to go. But I thought that when they got Ja 3 weeks ago and no one has been moved out of town yet. So I don't quite know what exactly is going on because this is a strange like got a bunch of guards. Like this is just a strange setup and I'm completely confused about who's in charge and like do they know what they're doing because I'm not especially for a team that made the playoffs last year given everything that happened with Chauncey they pivot to Tiago Splitter but the new
And then they
owner
didn't even keep him.
didn't keep I mean the new owner is cheap so they got rid of Tiago. They got a new guy in there like a one. They took some dude who just took a 1 year deal, I believe it was.
From Minnesota.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't understand how he's going to be back for year 2 because this is a really like this I don't understand, especially for Ja. Ja, who's it's really a big fall from grace for Ja because 4 years ago, we're talking about Ja being the next great American-born NBA superstar, right? And what's happened since then? He's been hurt. He has shot himself in the foot, not literally but figuratively. And for a guy whose value was so high 4 or 5 years ago, they more or less had to give him away. Memphis gave him away. And so I'm hoping Ja's able to figure things out, but for a dude that's oft injured, hasn't really developed a jump shot, this ain't looking good.
So honestly, when they first made the deal, I had a thought that maybe they would take 2 of those other guards since they got Ja and make a trade for Jalen Brown. I thought that's what
You thought that's what Portland was going to do?
Yes, I thought that's what Portland was going to do because I'm like, oh, you got 4 guards, right? And so it's like, okay, we have a realistic scenario, but like, what's okay? Best case scenario, Ja returns to his normal or to his pre-scandal self, and he looks like an all-star. Dame looks like 85, 90% of what he was. Drew Holiday is always going to be consistently Drew Holiday, right? And then Scoot Henderson actually looks like a top 5 pick. How do you stagger these minutes? Like, I'm assuming that Drew Holiday is going to be in a mentor role, and maybe Drew can play like on the wing because he's so sturdy and he can guard bigger guards and some wings. So maybe you can do like 3 guard lineups, but like Dame and Ja can't play together. They're terrible defensively. Like they can't be in the same backcourt. Like you're gonna have to have Ja and Drew or Dame and Drew. Like I don't know. And did Jeremy Grant get traded?
Yeah, I think Ja got traded for Jeremy Grant.
That's right. That's right. Jeremy Grant is in Memphis. So you like you said, you got Denny Abdia, All Star, Shane Sharp, who's still like, if you watch that dude in like open run or like you like, there's a reason why that dude went lottery and did not play a single game for Cal. Um, and then you got the Tumani Kamara, who, if I'm not mistaken, was an all defensive team or close to making an all defensive team.
Very good defender.
And then you got Donovan Clegan down there, who was like, they put him already an untouchable. He ain't getting traded looks. I just think, to the point that you made, it is so much uncertainty for a team that looked like 4 months ago they were on the rise with getting the 7th seed in the playoffs. Like you had something, and now it's like it's not all the way gone, but it's just like it's too much. It's too many questions surrounding it, especially in a Western Conference where, like, if everybody's healthy, you really kind of on the outside looking in.
Yeah, yeah, good luck for the folks in Portland. Good luck. Moving on to Minnesota. It might be the most basketball wise, at least for me, a move that I don't think is going to work. But in terms of like entertainment value, in terms of post game press conferences, they are going to like, my God, I'm gonna have to watch Minnesota's post game press conferences on your league pass, Ken, because the idea of LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards together. Oh my God. On the floor, I don't know how much LaMelo Ball helps you because he's often injured. He's not a good defender. He's not a great shooter. And for me, I don't think the dude's a winning basketball player, right? But in terms of my entertainment, by God, this is going to be must-see TV, right? I don't know how much, especially because they gave up Nas Reed to get him, right? Just in terms of value of what Nas gave you, interior toughness, versatile enough to step out and, hit the 3, good defender, You trade that out for a dude who's not going to play but so many games, not a great shooter. I think the argument is in Charlotte, they were just starting to turn the corner there, right? But I think Charlotte cashed out on his value early, right? They were like, his value's never going to be higher. And for Minnesota, they gave up a gang of picks to get him, didn't they?
I want to say they did. I mean, obviously the big kicker here was Nas Reed, but I want to say they gave up a couple of first round picks, if I'm not mistaken, because I know Charlotte has a bunch of like picks moving forward now. Listen, I think they're a top 5 team in the West. I think they might be a top 4 team in the West. Like, I think they're a team that should have home court advantage going into the playoffs. I think LaMelo Ball makes them better. I think Mike Conley was serviceable as a point guard these past couple of years, but LaMelo Ball gives them another guy, right? Like, he gives them a dude. Like, their backcourt, they complement each other so well. Like, LaMelo has elite passing skills, right? Anthony Edwards is a play finisher. He's going to catch lobs. He's going to run the floor. He's going to knock down shots. I want to say he shot like 7 threes a game last year, like at a pretty good clip. The glaring hole that I would say for them is losing like a guy like Nas Reed. Like, you've given up Nas Reed, Julius Randle, Karl Anthony Towns. Like, who is now your backup big, and who's going to be your 4-man? So now you got LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards,
McDaniels,
DeSomo, who had a really good playoffs, and you got Gobert. Now they got like Terrence Shannon, some other cats, but like those guys, I feel like are largely unproven. But that starting 5, I thought a guy like Rui Hachimura would have been great if he had signed with them, because they were like, he would have been able to be the perfect stretch 4 for that lineup, because he wouldn't have had to guard the toughest perimeter player. McDaniels will do that. He doesn't have to guard a big. He's got Gobert behind him, and he would just be spacing the floor. However, this is a really important season for Anthony Edwards. I saw a tweet yesterday. My boy sent me a tweet yesterday, the day before. This is the year Anthony Edwards either becomes Kobe Bryant or Vince Carter. Like,
that's pretty good.
Like, what step are you gonna take? Because you got the tools, right? You got all the tools. We done seen the flashes, right? So like, what trajectory is your career going to go on? I think LaMelo is going to help him, because now he doesn't have to take a lot of the ball handling responsibilities. He can play off the ball, which allows him to get easier buckets, right? Like 2 years ago when the Lakers played the Timberwolves, all of the talk was like, the way to beat Minnesota is to make Anthony Edwards a playmaker. Show him doubles, show him multiple bodies, because one of his weaknesses is decision making.
San Antonio did it.
Correct. Now that's off the table. Like, LaMelo is 6'7". LaMelo's bringing the ball up the floor. He's got elite vision. Anthony Edwards, elite shot making ability, play finisher, all this stuff. And if anybody's going to make Gobert look serviceable catching lobs, it would be LaMelo. Now, that ain't saying much, but I mean, it's not. And then Jaden McDaniels, right? Like, his like, he's not just a 3-and-D dude. Like, that dude,
He can put it on the floor now.
he's rising. That dude said last year, none of those guys on the Denver Nuggets can guard. Who are you talking about? Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and proceeded to beat them with a hobbled Anthony Edwards. I don't even think he played the next game, and they still beat him.
No, I think McDaniels had 30 odd and sent them boys to the brib.
Alex Goodwin, I've never seen an NBA player call out a whole team first and last name, government names, and then proceed to beat them as a role player. And basically, like, see what I mean?
Hey, and I think that's the thing about Minnesota. They've got, and I think the things LaMelo does well do help Anthony Edwards. I think for me, it's like his lack of availability, again, defensively. At some point in the West, he's going to have to guard somebody, right?
Oh, no doubt.
Because if you look at San Antonio's got 3 good guards. Oklahoma City's got guys, right? If you're going to make to the conference finals, make to the NBA finals, you're going to have to go through one of those 2 teams, which means at some point he's going to have to guard someone, right?
Yep.
He's going to have to guard somebody. And I'm not going to lie, Jaden McDaniels can't guard 2 people at once, right? Like, I think that's going to be the thing, or is he healthy enough, right? Because that was his big issue in Charlotte. I do think putting LaMelo Ball in a number 2 role does fit him a little bit better. He's you make him the lead singer, you're gonna win but so much, obviously, right? But if you make him the number 2, you might be able to cook with some gas, right? I think Minnesota, I still think like with the LaMelo move, I think just on the way to Anthony Edwards and what they already have, like the foundation they already have set, they're probably the third best team in the West. But I think the problem is it's San Antonio, Oklahoma City, they're here, and everybody else is here, right? Like those are
Oh
the
yeah.
clear demarcating line. It's not nearly as uh there aren't teams like San Antonio, Oklahoma City are jostling amongst themselves, and then there's everybody else fighting, playing for third, fourth, and they are. If this is a race, San Antonio and Oklahoma City are 15 yards ahead of everybody else, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's
For
like
sure.
it's gonna help them, right? But if Gobert is unplayable again, I don't know how much this is gonna matter, and especially if Gobert is unplayable again, and you don't have Nas Reed to go in there now.
Yep.
Like that's going to be the thing because Nas Reed was their best front court guy in that series against San Antonio because what games 4, 5, and 6, Gobert was useless, right? Julius Randle was horrendous, right?
Yep.
But instead, I mean, Gobert's contract is unmovable.
And that's really what is like hard capped them, right? That Gobert trade, trading 5 first-round picks, like I was really shocked that they really got this LaMelo trade off because it's like you really put all of your assets into a Gobert, Cat, Anthony Edwards, and they briefly got off Cat, got Julius Randle, got off Randle, so we can get LaMelo. Like this is really your window with this core, right? It's the same thing that a Denver is going through right now, right? Like you can only make so many more tweaks because you're so hard capped by this core that you've pigeonholed yourself into.
And boys is old too. Like Gobert is getting old, right?
Yeah.
So like that's the other problem he's got as well. Moving on, we almost forgot. Well, we don't know if the NBA is going to let them make this thing official. Kawhi Leonard heading back to the six. Kennedy Miller. Kawhi Leonard had arguably one of the best seasons of his career last year.
Mhm.
After the allegation that he got some brown paper bag money, 30 million of that brown paper bag money, Kawhi Leonard came out there and was hooping. He was healthy. He ended up, they didn't make the playoffs, but I think Kawhi scored 28 a night last year efficiently. Right, like he can still get buckets and still get to it. He's not the defender I think he once was. Right, I think that's
No,
just because of age and like the degenerative condition in his knees has like he can't be. He's not as impactful on that end of the floor. That doesn't mean he's not impactful, right? But it's not to that same degree. I think putting him and Scotty Barnes together that can be.
that's a really good defensive duo. It's a really good defensive duo. I think the Raptors will be good. Having Kawhi there, we don't have to see all the terrible shots that RJ Barrett will take.
Thank God.
Uh, but you get Barrett, you get Quickly, you get Scotty Barnes, Kawhi. Uh, what's the young guy like over there? The Colin Murray, Boyles.
Murray Boyles,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, like they got a solid roster. Like they were the fifth seed, right? They were the fifth seed this past year because they were four or
yeah,
five. They were
yeah.
the fifth seed with Brandon Ingram, right? Kawhi is obviously an upgrade over that. They are going to be better, and if he's healthy, if he again, it's almost not if when he misses games. What games does he miss? Is it early or is it late? Same thing with Embiid, right? If he is able to play in the playoffs, they will be a tough out. And I got to go through customs every time to play against Kawhi and Scotty. That's going to be tough, man. Let me tell you, right? We talked about all these teams. The NBA is in a really good place right now.
Yes.
It's in a really good place right now. Like, I am excited. I'm excited how this upcoming season will be. It is so much parity in the league. You can say on one day, hey, I think it's going to be a rematch of the finals. I think it's going to be the Knicks and Spurs again. And you can have an argument to back it up, or you can say for the ninth or 10th year in a row, it's going to be a new champion. Like it's so many moves this offseason has had so far. It's just been great to watch. And then like we got these old dudes who still haven't signed. Like Russell Westbrook still needs to find somewhere. DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson. We
The
already talked about him.
house, the
Yeah,
home.
like
Go home,
all
home.
these dudes who I feel like can still contribute in a little in a small span, right? But all these dudes still haven't signed, and so it's like I can't even really make my predictions on how I want things to go or how I think things will go until everything is done. But it's like, man, I'm so excited. I really am.
Yeah, man, it's been a great offseason. I think for so many people, like I think for years, and we're going to talk about this with Victor in the Spurs in a second. People complained about, the super team, the super team, the super team. And I do think that second apron has ruined the NBA. And this is something I forgot to mention about the whole Jalen Brown thing. Like, you can't keep teams together. You draft
Yes.
and develop, but you can't keep these guys together now, right? So you're having more people. The second apron, I don't think it was intended as a hard cap, but, it's going to possibly go down. That LeBron going to Miami in 2010 is the reason we got the lockout of 2011, right? We're trying to, the small market teams trying to be like, hey, yeah, no more super teams, no more, right? And so that's how this entire second apron in the luxury tax becoming so punitive came to be, right? So it's really hard to keep draft and develop guys. But now what that has done is it creates this constant movement.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's created unwittingly. And in one hand, it's not good for the league that teams draft and develop and have enough money to pay their players, right? But now you draft, develop two good guys, and now they're going to take up 70% of your cap. But what that unwittingly does create is a situation where you're getting really good guys going somewhere else in the middle to possibly call it back into their primes, right? In a way that you wouldn't have seen 15, 20, 25 years ago. Right. So I think that part has been very good. Right. Moving on, Kennedy Miller to the whitest team in the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers. Kennedy Miller, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see the Lakers starting five, I just keep thinking of that scene from White Chicks with Terry Crews. Didn't they tell you this was an all-white party? That's what I keep thinking about. Because Kennedy Miller having an all-white starting five in the year of our Lord 2026, when the NBA is, I don't even know what percent black. I don't even need to look at it because the number is real black, very black, extremely, right? The idea that you have an NBA starting lineup with no black people, I almost wanted to say, I think that's a choice. I
don't think they'll have an all-white starting five. I do think Quinn Grimes will either start. I think they're probably going to get Kuminga. And if they get Kuminga, Kuminga will start. You're not wrong about the all-white thing.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. And it was very troubling at the start of free agency.
It's troubling.
It was. But if you look at them individually, right? The only one that I really had a problem with was like not a problem per se, but like Austin Reeves would have been better suited elsewhere. Like I think like Austin Reeves' talent, if he goes to Detroit, he'd be better suited. It's just kind of redundant with him and Luca, especially if they're both gonna start, right?
And not play no defense.
He just like he needs to be a Ginobili. He needs to be in a Ginobili role for this Lakers team. Be the spark plug coming off the bench. The two guard next to Luca needs to be an athletic 3-and-D wing. That's what it needs to be. Somebody knock down threes, catch lobs, run the floor, guard the other team's best guard. I have no problem with them getting Walker Kessler. I wanted them to get Walker Kessler when LeBron was there, right? Like, I think it was a good move. I think he's an ideal big next to Luka Doncic, right? He's going to block shots. He's a defensive big. He can catch lobs, and he's also shown he can shoot it a little bit. We'll see. Quinn Grimes, I thought was a solid pickup for them. I really liked who they drafted. The kid, the Cameron Carr from Baylor, 6'7". That is a guy that I see as an ideal pairing next to Luka. 6'7", can shoot it, athletic, can run the floor. Now they got the guy from Toronto, the Sandro.
Mamu, he used to play for the
Yeah,
Spurs back when we was
yeah.
cheeks.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a Rui replacement. Stretch four, which I think right now he's slotted to start. But again, if they get a guy like Kaminga, he will be better served coming off the bench. I think the Lakers will be a top five team. One thing I will say, they're gonna have a top five offense. Like if Luka's healthy,
Oh, they gonna put it in the hole.
they gonna score the ball. Colin Sexton, they got him as well. I really liked if they would have kept DeAndre Ayton as a backup uh to Walker Kessler. But trading him and getting Kevon Looney, who's the oldest 30-year-old in NBA history. I get it. Like you done got both hips replaced, but I did not realize
Both
when I looked
hips.
at yeah, he had like major hip surgery, but I didn't realize when I looked at the basketball reference, he's only 30 years old. You know that clip. You remember when Tyler Hero threw that lob to Udonis Haslem and he fell on the ground? That's how
Yes.
it's gonna be when Luka throws a lob to Looney this year. That's exactly how it's gonna be. I I didn't understand that one. I wish they would have kept DeAndre Ayton because then you got Jaden Hardy and what is he gonna do?
But you know what that is, though? By the end of that Oklahoma City series, J.J. Redick, I don't know if you saw those clips at the end of the series of J.J. Redick's like, I can't play him, right? Like
Yeah,
DeAndre
yeah, yeah.
Ayton, the biggest problem, and I ain't gonna lie, man, Monty Williams got fired in Phoenix because he was more or less ready to throw DeAndre Ayton in the trash can. And most times you got a dude you see DeAndre Ayton, you line up 150 people up against the wall, basketball players against the wall, you see DeAndre Ayton, that's the number one pick right there, right? Because dudes that big, that tall, don't grow on trees. But he doesn't care. I don't like, he's one of them people I don't think actually, like, in a very Ben Simmons sort of way, I don't think he likes basketball. He likes what basketball does for him lifestyle wise and everything like that. But he doesn't he doesn't eat, sleep, breathe basketball. He treats
Yeah.
this like just something I do.
Now
You know
he's
what I'm
going
saying?
to Washington. He got traded to Washington, which
Yeah.
if we ever we're gonna have to do a NBA out preview
Yeah.
before we get started. I think Washington's gonna make the playoffs in the East.
I can see that.
I think if they're fully healthy, I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
I mean,
Uh,
but I'll say Rayford with Rayford and Anthony Davis, this could be very interesting. For those of y'all who
yeah,
don't know, Rayford is Trae Young's real first name. He's Rayford Young the third.
yeah, those dudes, like that is gonna be. They are another one of my league pass teams, but I think they're gonna make the playoffs. As far as the Lakers, they're going to have a great offense. I think the clock is ticking now on Luka to win something. Like I know you done got to the finals, but look at all your contemporaries. You don't have no Finals MVP. You don't have no MVP. You don't like. I think he's going to be one of the favorites to win an MVP because he's got some narrative behind what is he going to do now that Braun is gone. LA is now his town. He's got the whole thing behind him. But if he don't win it this year, you still got Wimby. You still got like you can make an argument. Shea can win another one. Who am I? Anthony Edwards still hasn't won one, right? Like, and now Cooper Flag is coming up too. Cooper Flag is gonna be an MVP candidate. AJ Devanza. So if Luka don't win one soon, when is he ever gonna win one?
I mean, forget winning an MVP, actually winning something of substance, because like he is past the point where, and we started to see this with the Spurs. Well, we're gonna see this with Victor and the Spurs here, probably the next 2 years. Where you stop being fun and this stops being okay. We're just happy to be here. With Luka Doncic, this is year 9. I believe we're in year 9. We're past look at what you do. Look how good you are. We start once you get to year 5 or 6, and especially with the issues that he's had with his weight and his conditioning and defensively, people start grading you on here's what you don't do. Right? He's clearly at that point.
Oh yeah.
So I'm interested to see what kind of shape he shows up in. Because last year he did the whole best shape of his life thing. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to sustain that, just lifestyle wise, right? I'm not sure, right? If he comes in looking puffy again, we don't know what's up. He has to play his way back into shape in a, I don't say James Harden way, but you see James do that pretty consistently. We'll know what time it is. The Lakers will be fun, but like they'll be a fun team to watch, but I can't put them. I think they'll be I think max a top 5 seed, but I think they're probably, depending on the matchup, if they get matchup with Oklahoma City or San Antonio second round. See you.
I think the best teams in the West: OKC, San Antonio. I mean, I'm not in any order, but OKC, San Antonio, Lakers, Timberwolves, Denver.
Yeah.
I think those are the 5 best teams in the West. I think it's pretty clear cut in the West. Now the East, you got all these questions because you got 11 teams like we talked about. You got 11 teams that could possibly be in the playoffs.
Walk me through all 11. Walk us through as we
You
get
have
up out of here.
you have Boston, New York, Philadelphia, uh, Detroit, Miami, Toronto, Washington, Atlanta, Orlando, Indiana,
Oh,
and
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Like that's 11. 3 of those teams that I named will not make the playoffs this year.
That's fair. Yeah. Because I was like, I forgot. Because Orlando did fire Jamal Mosley and hire Sean Sweeney, right?
Yes, NBA's in a good place. NBA's in a good place.
That it is. And that is another episode of the Game Plan Podcast. Kennedy Miller, my God.
Always a pleasure, my man. I had a good time.
Hey, man, it's been a minute, dog. We got to get ourselves back into in the shape. You know what I'm saying?
You're not lying about that.
Because college football, NFL is coming, and we gonna be back right at y'all pretty soon. So Ken, where can the folks find you at your brand new Twitter name? Where can they find you,
Find me
dog?
on my new Twitter name, same account, new Twitter name at _Coach Ken __. Again, that's _Coach Ken __.
All right. You guys can follow me. I'm still at Alex Goodwin TSM. Still there. I've been there for this point going on 8-9 years. Alex Goodwin TSM on the artist formerly known as Twitter. That's T as in tacos, S as in sangria, M as in margaritas, or T as in Timberwolves, S as in Spurs, M as in let's go with Orlando Magic. Right. Don't forget, follow the Game Plan Podcast on our official YouTube channel. Also follow us on our official Instagram at _ the Game Plan Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell 10 friends, and tell 10 more friends, and tell 10 more friends about the Game Plan Podcast. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, we appreciate you guys for listening. For Kennedy Miller, my name is Alex Goodwin. This has been the Game Plan Podcast. We will see you guys next time. Take it light.